Let's get right to it. Why grocery trips are becoming every Uber and Lyft driver's nightmare. Hmm. Yeah, it's a bunch of bullshit. Huh. You know, and Uber and Lyft drivers are struggling. But here's my advice to help you. Now, the riders got it misconstrued. That's plain and simple across the board. They got it fucked up. I'm just gonna get right to it as raw as possible. The motherfuckers the riders got this all fucked up. We are drivers. We don't tote no bags. When they pay that fare for that trip, they're not paying for physical labor. If you can't tote it, you shouldn't buy it. Now, before I get into this video, I would like to ask you all, if you find my content helpful in any way, to please subscribe, like, and share, and hit that notification bell so you can stay notified of my newest content. This helps my channel grow. Now, drivers, I know a lot of you all out there are suffering with this. A lot of new drivers that don't understand what it is that they should be doing and that they should not be doing. There's a lot of tip whores. That's what I call them. Tip whores. That'll do anything for a tip. You know who you are? But if that's your thing, then do it. As drivers, we're getting paid cents per mile. And there is no room for anything extra. Even if you are a tip whore, you don't know what that amount of that tip is when you get a promise of a tip. You get what I'm saying? It ain't like nobody reach across your shoulder and say, maybe they might. But in that case, if they do, you know what the tip is. Somebody reach across your shoulder and say, hey, man, it's $30. Please help me with these groceries. No problem. Right? That's somebody that done reach across your shoulder and say, man, here's $30. Would you mind helping me with these groceries? You get what I'm saying? But a promise of a tip, or a rider sitting around to wait and see if you're going to help them with their groceries before they decide to tip you. And then when they tip you, you still don't know how much it is until the trip clear. Then they done gave you $3, $4. You done went up the steps. You done went up a hill. You done went through bushes and everywhere else it is to carry all of the bullshit that they done got from the store for you to help them with when you get there. Drivers are not obligated to help anybody with groceries. I get it. A lot of you all are going to say, hey, well, if it's elders, I don't mind helping elders. They are the worst. They are the worst. Because they are the ones that expected more than anybody for you to help them with their groceries because they bought them. You understand? Elders rarely tip. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm just going to be across the board. There's a major liability in helping someone with their groceries. If you drop something and it breaks, you're responsible for. If you grab something that's a little bit too heavy, you can pull a muscle, tear a ligament. That tip that they're giving you ain't gonna compensate for them days that you out of work. And as you know, when you are an Uber or a Lyft driver, time is money. Lost time, lost time is lost money. Plain and simple as that. And I'm just being 100% real. You know, it might be a lot of y'all that might look at this video and tell me, oh man, well shit, man, damn, I wonder do ever get tips? Yeah, because I'm a courteous driver with a clean car. And I'm just not gonna put myself in harm's way to help nobody move groceries that I'm not getting paid for. It's just plain and simple as that. So, in my advice, there's going to be times where you're going to pull up to a multitude of places. You could pull up to places such as Targets, Publix, food, any grocery store chain, wherever it is that you live. Walmart, Sam's Club, BJ's, Costco. And that's going to be people right there waiting on you with several baskets of groceries. And those groceries is going to have cases of water, sodas, and everything. And they're going to expect you to help them put that stuff in the car and take it out of the car. So here's my advice for you. If you find yourself in a situation like that, number one, if you are a person that feel like you're not going to be lifting any groceries and stuff, when you accept a trip and you see that it's going to a grocery store, just know if you take that trip, you got to be prepared for what might be there waiting on you when you get there. Okay? If it's Walmart, Targets, be prepared. Home Depot, be prepared for what's there waiting on you when you get there. Now, sometimes you might pick up people that's getting off work, but at least 75% of the time, you're going to be picking up somebody that done bought a whole bunch of something, and they're going to expect you to help them load it in the car and take it to wherever it is that they're going when they get there. So if you find yourself in this situation, what you do is you open the trunk. If you got a button in the car, open the trunk. Get out the car, open the trunk. Now, you got to make sure that you got room in your trunk, because a lot of you all are hoarders and you don't like to keep your trunks clean, let alone keep the car clean. So, you know what I'm saying? If you choose to take something out of a grocery, you know you got to move some of that shit out the way so them people can put them groceries in there. Okay? Okay? But it's my advice, back to the advice. If you find yourself in that situation, you open the trunk of the car. You let those people put those groceries in the car, or that person put the groceries in the car. When you all proceed to the destination and you get there to wherever it is that they're going, whether it's a house, an apartment, an office building, does not matter. You open the trunk up and you sit there. And you let them take the groceries in. Now, if it's one person and it's a lot of groceries for that one person to take, you're going to be sitting there for some time. So it's my advice that you take the groceries and just set them like right on the sidewalk or wherever it is. Just as they go in to get some, you just take some of them out and put them over there, because you will be standing there forever. Because that's something that they're gonna do. Because if they're like, well, it's me. I got to get. I'm only one person. You're not helping me with the groceries. It's not your responsibility, nor is it your obligation. And don't allow no rider with a bunch of groceries that they made to make you feel sad in any way. Because Uber and Lyft, in their greed, takes all of the fares, take the majority of the fare, and they disperse crumbs in the way of cents per mile. There's no physical labor attached to any of them grocery trips or any trips where someone's moving anything. You are a Uber or a Lyft driver. You get paid cents per mile to drive to and from. There's no physical labor in there. Plain simple as that. You can get out there, you can go grab a case of water, and a shot pain hit you in your back, and you done pull the ligament in your shoulder blade. What you gonna do then? Drive with one arm? You understand what I'm saying? Or you mess around and pull a ligament in your back, slip a disc in your back, helping somebody that know what the rider gonna say? Oh, I'm so sorry that happened to you. Do you want me to call the ambulance? They're not going to pay your way for harming a day or your hospital bill. Uber and Lyft is not going to pay you for nothing other than the cents per mile. That's why they made us independent contractors, people. My advice is it is not wise to load groceries or unload groceries. Now, depending on the driver, you use your own discretion in that matter. But for cautionary purposes, or let's say for safety precautions, I wouldn't advise it. It's just not worth it. You know, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. And don't nothing about a grocery trip make sense at all if you are going to do anything other than picking them up or dropping them off. And that's as plain and simple as that. So I want to leave y'all today with one of my good old stories, right? Oh boy. So check this out. I accept a trip one day. I see that the trip is going to Sam's Club. So I get to Sam's Club and I'm waiting on the person to come out or whatever. I see a lady come out with one of them cots, the flat cots. So she got so I hit the button on the van and it opened up. So I said, let me lay the, so I went back there and laid the seat down, right? Well, I pushed the button and laid the seat down, whatever. And she had Crabby-Cold, I don't know how big these bags were. The biggest bags, I guess, of cat food and dog food. And I think she had some Crabby-Cold thing of cat litter or some shit. She had 3 Crabby-Cold cases of water. I want to say the cases of water was anywhere between like 35, 40 bottles of water. Crabby-Cold, the biggest one. And then she had a couple of things of insurance. She had like 1 or 2 cases of insurance. Y'all know about them insured drinks or whatever. So once I laid the seat down, I went and got back in the car. And she came to the window. She said, excuse me, are you going to help me with this stuff? I said, ma'am, I don't help people with the groceries. Oh, well, let me go in the store and see if I can get someone to help me. I said, okay. So I'm sitting right there. She comes out with a guy. Guy load the stuff up in the back. And I press the button, whatever, and it closes up. She sits in the back. She gets on the phone as we proceed to the destination. She's calling somebody. Hey, I hate to bother you, but I'm just leaving Sam's Club, and I would really appreciate it if you can swing by right fast to give me some help. I should be there in 10 or 15 minutes. Yeah, apparently, the Uber driver doesn't help load bags and unload them. Yeah, it's just one of those things. She's making all types of sarcastic remarks. I ain't said now word. I let her make her little sarcastic remarks and talk in circles. You know what I'm saying? Because that still won't gonna get that. What that won't gonna do anything for me. That was not gonna move me. So we get to the apartment complex that she lives in, and I pull up, and I hit the button to open it back up. I don't see nobody. I just see a bunch of cars parked. She's standing up. So the timer is the timer I hit arrived, right? And so once I hit dropped off or whatever, once I hit dropped off, okay, she's standing back there by the back looking at the phone. So I'm like, okay, how much more? I'm sitting here, trips jumping in the queue, and I'm sitting there saying to myself, okay, now this trip has already arrived to the destination, to the drop-off destination. She had been standing back there for probably maybe like 10 minutes. I'm looking around. I still don't see nobody or whatever. She's on the phone. Then all of a sudden hey, I'm here. I've been standing here. Where are you? Then I heard her say, oh, wow. And how much longer you say it's going to be? Oh, okay then. So she gets on the phone and calls somebody else. Hey, please tell me you're somewhere near. I'm standing here. I have a lot of stuff that has to be taken, and I can't do it. And the Uber driver is not willing to. So I get out of the car. I said, ma'am, with all due respect, I got trips that's jumping in my queue. I have to take these trips. Oh, well, I have no way to get my stuff in the house. I said, that is not my problem. I said, but what I tell you I'm going to do against the better judgment is I'm going to set your things on the curb. Oh, no. My cats have allergies. No, I have allergies. You can't set my stuff on the curb. I said, well, it's going to go somewhere. But I'm not toting it in your house. And I'm not gonna wait for no longer for nobody else to come. Oh, she got the recording. Oh, this is not right. So I started taking shit and setting it on the curb. You understand what I'm saying? Get down to the insurance. I set them on top of the waters. Yes, this driver right here, people, this Uber driver setting my stuff on the curb. He wouldn't help me take my things in the house, and I'm gonna report him, and he will be fired. This is your last day. This is all this and all that. I got back in the car, hit the button, closed the thing up. Then she wouldn't move out of the back of it. She wouldn't move. So she stood there. So I said, got out of the car. I said, listen, ma'am, would you please move away from the vehicle. You are holding me hostage. I'm going to call the police. My dash cam has recorded the whole thing. And I'm going to charge you with holding me hostage if you do not move away from the vehicle so I can pull off. So she moves out of the way from the vehicle. Oh, yeah, well, you do whatever it is that you have to do. You people are the worst people. I ain't said nothing. In the car, pulled off, went on about my business. And, yeah, and was driving. I probably was driving about 3-4 hours that day. Next thing I know, here come Uber and Lyft. I mean, here comes Uber. Hey, you got a complaint. Blah 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 blah. You need you placed somebody's things in an unsafe place and some other mess, and you were very confrontational and threatening and all that stuff. I'm like, what? You know, they paused the account. So I made the call. They got on the phone. I told the lady, I said, listen, man, it's no matter what I say. You people over there at Uber has your own way of doing things. Once your artificial intelligence get a complaint against a driver, you pauses the driver's account. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to submit the dash cam footage so you can see not only did I take her things out the car and place them on the curb neatly, you need to look at the time that I pulled up to the drop off and how long I was there. And then you also need to look at the footage to see that the woman stood behind the vehicle and held me hostage for more than 10 minutes. I was more than patient. Not one time did I have any type of hurling and verbal assaults or anything towards her. Okay, well we'll wait for the footage and then we'll get back with you. So mind you, I lost the rest of that day. Later on that night, I see they done reinstated my account. You know what I'm saying? It's just so much that you have to go through. And as drivers, we don't get paid for physical labor. The advice I gave you all was the most practical advice that I could give. There's no promise of a tip that's going to cause me to help nobody take no groceries in the house and pull a muscle in my back. Or drop something of theirs and be responsible and have to pay for it. Right? It's just not. You know what I'm saying? Uber and Lyft should add the right amount of fee to these trips when it's physical labor is involved, and allow the driver to determine, say, if I want this or not. You get what I'm saying? I just wanted to leave this video today because I get a lot of comments from drivers all over that's struggling with riders with a bunch of groceries that they expect the drivers to help them load in the car and unload and take into their houses. You know, I've even had them drivers say, hey, man, the dude promised me a tip and he did not send the tip and all that stuff like that. What can I do? Nothing. Because Uber and Lyft ain't going to do a damn thing about that. The riders are always right. The drivers are the doormats because we're replaceable. The riders are the revenue. Uber and Lyft ain't. All they is a greedy ass middleman that's taking more of the percentage of the trips than the driver's actually getting. So you do the math. Hey, if somebody didn't tell you that they love you today, Rideshare Real Talk loves you. And I mean it. I'm out.